This is question number 25 on the June 2013 non-calculator paper. Now this question is worth 4 marks altogether, and it's almost a full page of workings out. The first part that we're looking at is worth 3 marks, so that's where most of the marks are coming from. And it's actually a pretty straightforward part. If you are familiar, if you're working towards your top grade, right, you should be familiar with completing the square, and that's what part A wants you to do. So let's just read through the question. It says the expression x squared minus 8x plus 21 can be written in the form x minus a all squared plus b for all values of x. Find the value of a and b, and they want you to write them in over here. Now, what is pretty straightforward about this question is, if you understand what to do for completing the square, this should be pretty straightforward, because what we have is a quadratic equation, x squared minus 8x plus 21. To complete the square, I need to form a square expression, and the test for that is pretty standard. I'm going to put x there, and I'm going to put half of whatever is in front of the x term. Now, half of minus 8 is minus 4. If I expanded that, I would end up getting x minus 8x plus 16. So if you expanded x minus 4 all squared, you'd end up with x squared minus 8x plus 16. You want this to equal x squared minus 8x plus 21. So the standard process typically is to take away the 16 and add the 21, but you can see what's the difference. It's going to be 5. So if I added 5 to that, I would end up with 21. So when I completed the square, that is what my expression would be. If I expanded and simplified that expression, I would end up with x squared minus 8x plus 21. So my values for a and b, a is going to be 4, b is going to be 5. And that's a pretty straightforward 3 marks. Going on to the second part, or carrying on from the rest of the question. All right, so let's just look at this. It says the equation of a curve is y is equal to f of x, where f of x is equal to x squared minus 8x plus 21. Now we were just working with exactly the same expression, and we completed the square of that expression to get x minus 4 all squared plus 5. Okay, we just did that. The minimum point of this curve is m. Minimum point of this curve is m, and they want us to write down the coordinates of m. Now what you should be familiar with is, if this curve started off, well, if we had an x squared curve sitting here, right, this is about transformation of graphs. How would you move this graph from here to here? Now we know that this graph is x minus 4 all squared plus 5. So what actually happened was, to get to here and then up to here, we needed to move this graph 5 this way, because it's minus 4 inside the brackets. We're going to go 4 this way. Did I say 5? I think it's 4 this way. And then plus 5 means we're going to move it up 5. So that's going to be 5. So that means that the coordinates of m are 4 and 5. The x coordinate is 4, the y coordinate is 5. Again, if you're really familiar with this, this question should be really, really straightforward, and it should be an easy 4 marks to get for this.